Concept 3, choosing a measure of central tendency. Central tendency is going to be either your mean, median, or mode, and that's just the representation of your data that represents kind of the middle or the average. And you're going to choose one of these to represent your data set, and you're going to choose it, the one that represents it best. Okay? And to do that, you need to take into account what kind of data you're looking at, and if there are any outliers and any effects that might have. Okay, so here we have a data set, and this is high jump. Okay, high jump, and these are the bar heights, so the inches that students were able to jump over. Okay, so this student was able to clear a 40-inch height, but was not able to go on to 44. This student was able to clear 40 and 44, but couldn't make 48. Okay, so that's what our data set is. All right, and I've calculated our mean, our median, and our mode. All right, and so we have these three values, and we're looking for the one that represents this data the best. Okay, now if I'm looking at this and I know how high jump works, I know that, they start jumping at a 40-inch bar, and then they jump, if they make that, they go up to a 44-inch. If they make that, they go up to 48, and on and on. Okay, so knowing that and seeing that I do have a little bit of an outlier here, right? It's not crazy outlier, but it is quite a bit higher than most of my data. My mean, actually, I would say, is not going to be my best representation for a couple reasons. The first is it is being pulled up by this outlier a bit. Okay. The second one is if I have students jumping at 40 inches and 44 and 48, and I say that the average jumper jumped 47.1, well, the bar was never put at 47.1 inches. So actually nobody jumped 47.1 inches. So that's not a very good representation of this data set. Okay, when I look at the mode, yeah, most students cleared 40. Okay, and that was the most they could clear. But I've got a lot of students that could jump higher than that. Okay, so mode, I would say, isn't the best way to represent this data either. Median looks like my best way to represent, okay, because I have most of my students, right? Oops, I drew that the wrong way. Most of my students, most of my jumpers, okay, are able to clear a 44-inch bar, right? All of these girls or boys were able to clear that bar. So that's a pretty good representation of my data, right? Now, there are definitely some that could clear a higher bar, all right? But if I start looking at, making this higher, if I said this was 48, well, now most of my students actually can't clear a 48 bar, okay? So I think median in this case is my best representation for my data, all right?